beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about another new collection from ColourPop. This is the Butterfly collection. The Butterfly collection is launching on the ColourPop Cosmetics website on Thursday, November 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have Jelly Much shadows, Super Shock shadows, we have some new Velvet Blur Luxe lipsticks, we have a pressed powder palette, and we have a brand new product. This is the Pixie Puff highlighter. The shade is called Flyby, and this will be priced at $16 US. There's 12.5 grams of product in here, and this is a heavy-duty cardboard packaging. The lid is not a screw top, it just pops right off. And then inside you have the powder puff, and then there's a little sifter, and all the body highlighter is inside. As you can see, the puff just sits right on top here. I'll show you a quick little demonstration of me applying this to my arm. It's a soft, golden, peachy, sparkly body powder. This doesn't seem like a super wintertime product for me. I mean, ColourPop is based in California, so they probably still are showing their limbs there, but here on the East Coast, it's pretty freaking cold. I'm not big on body highlighters or body powders, body makeup in general, but I always love to see ColourPop innovating into a new product, a new formulation, so that is the Pixie Puff highlighter. Let's move on to the lips now. We have 5 new colors in the Velvet Blur Luxe lipstick formula. These are now priced at $7.50 a piece. We've seen a couple of ColourPop price increases lately, so I did want to note these are now $7.50. The outer packaging on these is exactly the same on the lipstick itself, but the cartons for this collection are so pretty. I just love this magical butterfly theme. There will also be the option to buy all 5 Luxe lipsticks in a bundle. This is the Come Fly With Me lip bundle. It's priced at $34 and it will contain all 5 of these new Velvet Blur shades. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at some swatches of these lip colors. We have Bloom to Bloom, Oasis, Virgo Moon, which is the shade I'm wearing throughout the talking portions of the video, Slow Dance, and Come On Clover. I also want to show you a quick arm swatch with all 5 of these shades side by side. That way you can really tell the differences and hopefully it will help you decide which shade or shades you're interested in. Now let's get to the eye products. I'm really excited because there are some of my absolute favorite products here, the Jelly Much shadows and the Super Shock shadows. We have 2 new Jelly Much shades. These do have special packaging on the little screw top pots as well as the outer boxes. These are just so cute. The Jelly Much shadows are priced at $8 a piece. We have an icy white iridescent shade called Buttercup, and then a silvery taupey lavender called Bouquet. We have 4 new Super Shock shadow shades. These are priced at $6 a piece. Again, special packaging on the pots as well as the outer carton. These are glittery. I mean, I really love this magical fairy vibe they have going on. These are so cute. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some arm swatches of these 4 shades. We have Mighty Morphin, Flying Circus, Ringlet, and Like a Butterfly. Lastly, we have a pressed powder palette. This is a 12-pan palette and it will be priced at $18 US. First of all, this palette packaging is just so insanely beautiful. I love it so much. It's got glitter and texture and movement. It's just, man, this is some of my favorite packaging they've done in a really long time. The shade names are pictured on the back. I do want to point out that we have 3 shades with the eye safety warning. Gotta Fly, Overpacked, which is the pressed glitter, and then surprisingly this shade that's called Changes. Changes. Okay, sorry, I had to. This is their regular cardboard packaging with the magnetic closure, and when we look inside here, there is no mirror. We see all 12 shades here. Now, the shade Overpacked is a pressed glitter. I will say a couple things. First of all, this is not a super chunky pressed glitter. Still don't like pressed glitter, still not eye safe, but I'm glad to see that they're using some of their finer glitters. I think I would rather have no glitter, but anyway, that's why Overpacked has the eye safety warning. This shade Gotta Fly has it, likely because it contains red pigments. That's something that we've talked about a lot before, that those can cause staining. But this shade, I'm surprised that it has the warning because it's just a mid-tone brown, and that's typically not the kind of shade that we see those warnings on. Usually we see them on reds, purples, pinks, neons. So to see it on a brown shade is pretty weird for me. I will continue to give ColourPop props for the fact that they have clearly marked the eye safety warnings on the inside, on the back, and on the box. At the very least, if they're going to contain shades that might not be safe for use around the eyes, then the least they can do is make their consumers aware of that. I'm feeling pleased that they're choosing to make that more apparent right on the inside next to the pan, where people are actually maybe possibly going to pay attention to it. So kudos to you, ColourPop, for that. Of these 12 shades, of course, 1 is a pressed glitter, 4 are shimmers, and 1 of those shimmers is a duochrome, 2 are mattes with glitter, and then the remaining 5 are just true mattes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the swatches of this Flutterby palette. The swatches are done on the inside of my arm with absolutely no primer down first, just the swatches straight onto my skin. I will be showing you both finger and brush swatches. The finger swatches will be on top, and then each brush swatch will be below. For my brush swatches, I'll be using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean the brush off in between each shade using the Viramona color switch. That way there's no shade transfer between swatches. So let's take a look at those swatches now. Here are all the swatches. I think the brush swatches look really, really nice on this palette. And this is a very neutral toned palette, but there are some mauvey purpley pops in here that I think are really nice and pretty unique within the ColourPop palette line. Now that you've seen everything swatched, let's jump into a quick tutorial. I did use the palette, the Jelly Much shadows, and one of the Super Shocks in this look. I really just wanted to test everything out and see how they all work together. So let's take a look at an eyeshadow tutorial, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. I'm starting off just like I always do by priming my eyes with my favorite eye base. It's the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then I'm gonna set that base using this shade Lush. This is a matte. It's a little bit deeper than my skin tone, but it works for setting for me. Now I'm using Made to Last as my transition shade. This is a nice medium light, neutral, kind of cool tone shade. It's not quite brown, it's not quite purple. It's really perfect for this palette specifically. Then I'm going to use this dark purpley brown matte called Angel BB, and I'm going to build that up using a fluffy brush on the outer part of my eye. I want this smokiness to be really diffused. That's why I'm using a fluffier brush. Then I wanted to add a little bit more purple coolness, so I used Mariposa to really blend all those mattes together. Then I went back with Made to Last, and I used that along my lower lash line to give this look some balance. Then I started in with the Jelly Much shadows, first taking Buttercup on my pinky finger, really gently dabbing that on the inner corners of the eyes. Then I took the other Jelly Much called Bouquet, and I swept that over the rest of my lid really lightly. I'm sort of using this as a base for one of the powder shadows. Then I used Sunflare again just on my finger and wiped that right on top of the Bouquet Jelly Much. for a super foily metallic look. And because I can't get enough shimmer, I also used Gotta Fly just on my finger over that outer part of the eye. Went back with my original blending brush for a little bit of blending, and then I used the Super Shock shadow in the shade Flying Circus, and I dabbed that in the center of my eye for a little more duochrome goodness. I used Angel BB again on a pencil brush to do a bit of a faux liner on the outer part of my lid, curled my lashes, added some L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, and that finishes off my look. I was not expecting to like a cool toned look as much as I like this one. It's just the perfect balance between neutral, still exciting, a little smoky, a little sultry, but still really bright and fun too. Well, we've already covered that I absolutely love the packaging on this collection. These kind of dusty, cool tones really aren't my jam, but I actually love the look that I came up with today. For me, the standout in this palette is the shade called Sunflare. It's so pretty. It's like a lighter version of the shade Earthshine. I would love to see this one come out as a single, honestly. I think that these shades look prettier when they're swatched than they do just in the pan. I don't know if it's just one of those things. They don't really translate that well in solid form, or if this gold background is kind of messing with them because it's more cool tone shades. Either way, I do think this palette is prettier in person and on the skin than it looks just pictured in the palette. I do want to point out that Made to Last, this matte shade, and the Glitter Overpacked are not new shades. Those are previously existing as singles in the ColourPop line. Otherwise, these are all new shade names. I do think some of these look pretty similar to existing ColourPop shadows. Not gonna deny that. I'm glad that this more cool toned palette exists. I know a lot of people have been missing that. A lot of people have been crying out for the cool tones, sick of all the warm tones and the warm neutrals. So I'm very happy that they decided to do this, especially because they did discontinue their Fame palette, which was their big cool toned pressed powder palette. Even though this isn't really my jam, it's nice. I think the shadow quality is nice. I wish that glitter wasn't in there. At least they clearly marked it. But I like this more than I thought I would. It's just not really my favorite kind of tone. For me, the Super Shock shadows and the Jelly Mud shadows are really where it's at. Those are by far my favorite things from this collection. The lipsticks are nice too. The Velvet Blur formula isn't my preferred formula. It's nice and comfy. I do prefer the cream formula Luxe lipsticks, but these are nice colors. I really like the shade Virgo Moon that I've been wearing throughout the video. But for me, the #1 top picks are the Super Shock shadows and the Jelly Mud shadows. They're a little bit brighter, they're a little bit more exciting, and I love that they have the special packaging. They're just all around pretty shades, great formulas, great packaging, nothing for me to complain about. I know a lot of you guys are going to be excited to see a cool toned palette. I always love to hear what you think about anything that I review. Are you interested in this collection? Are you a cool tone lover? Which things are really drawing your eye? Please leave a comment and let us know what you think down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Jelly Mud, Super Shocks. I do it every time. Now let's move on to the lipsticks. Let's move on to the lipsticks. Dang it. Why did I do that? Because of who I am as a person. Why am I always filming at the last minute? Probably because I have a million things to do. I always feel like such a creep when I do lip swatches. Probably because I look like a creep when I do lip swatches. ColourPop is so like cool and hip and young people that sometimes I'm afraid I'm not gonna understand a reference. A name of one of their products is going to be referencing something that I have no idea. Who knows how many times that has already happened this year. I'm such an old mom now. Not that that's bad, I kind of love it, but I'm gonna start saying cool beans any day now. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna start looking at my kid like this, and then he's just gonna be scared and do whatever I told him to do. And I'll ma'am. Oh my, excuse me. She's a lady. Super, super, super shock, super shock. If I ever do a collab with ColourPop, I have to make a super shock shadow shade named Super. Nobody steal that. That is my thing. Dang it. I better edit that out so that nobody takes my idea. Or publish it now to prove that I already had the idea, huh? Okay, we're cutting it real close on the timeline here. Real close. But I know if I don't do lip swatches, people will be like, no lip swatches. Did these always not have the stars on them? Did the Velvet Blur ones always not have the stars? Am I losing my mind? Please don't answer that. Don't answer that. Okay, that's it. I did it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Okay. Have a fantastic night or day or evening or whatever betwixt time you're at. What? Oh, I'm just gonna go. Bye.